in a world divided by data and conflict. Welcome to Pixels to Politics, Season 3.
Welcome, everybody, to an episode of Pixels to Politics. I'm your host, Dougie. This is episode 96 of Season 3. And it's an Epstein video. Probably be a little shorter. So I investigated this person who, it's so funny. If you're here for the Epstein stuff, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're new, and don't worry, give you a little summary. But the episode where I covered David Syed, who had died recently, he was talking to this person. I thought it was a person named Mom Luang. And she invites him and Jeffrey to go to this event in Thailand called the 1 Million Child Meditation, which I'm going to try and find a video of today. And it's real weird. It's real creepy. David says to Jeffrey that it's like a real opportunity. You know, David is or was a modeling, I'm putting modeling scout in quotes. We're just getting right into it today. We're going to talk about two other famous people too. But so David's this modeling scout. He says, Jeffrey, hey, you should come to this event. And this person, Mom Luang, is facilitating it in some way. Well, it turns out Mom Luang, I'm kind of an idiot. I should have looked it up a little sooner. But today we were going to, go through her files. Turns out Mom Luang means the honorable in Thai. And the person he was talking to is of Thai royalty. Let me see. I've got the page here. Her name, oh God, I'm going to butcher the hell out of this name, guys, so don't judge me. But Mom Luang Rajadar Asri Jiankura is a member of the Thai royal descendant lineage. Mom Luang being the most junior noble title level of royal descendants in Thailand. She is active in international culture, social and environmental advocacy, and is occasionally noted in public media for supporting global initiatives and arts, which makes sense. They also talked about something called the Oceanic or Ocean or Asian something or another, some kind of, event. And so I was going to look through our files today, and I've got some of them pulled up. There weren't that many. It was only like 250 or something, and I went through most of them. For the most part, she meets up with Jeffrey clearly at least once. No telling what the meeting was. I have no idea. However, they met and they talked, and she asked him to come see the 1 million child meditation ceremony or celebration. I don't think he did, at least the one that he got invited to, but David did. David Syed, this modeling scout. And he sends him the video. He sends him multiple videos. Creepy shit. At some point, I don't know, I'm speculating, conjecture. I think she discovers what was going on. And all of a sudden, she starts fighting with David. And David CCs Epstein into the email chain. And Epstein's like, whoa. Epstein was very careful, by the way. As much as we have, and I've gotten from the files, he was really careful about what took place in those emails. When Ariane de Rothschild started complaining about a certain comedian in France, he tells her, not in this, not here or something, referring to not there in the email chain. He had way more emails than the one that we've gotten. This one is his for fun email. It's his, it's his communicate with everybody email. It's his quote modeling email. And so who knows what took place outside. Clearly a lot had happened, considering They were talking and they were, friends in quotations, acquaintances, business partners, whatever. And then all of a sudden, she's like cursing them out, basically. And she's like, I don't want anything to do with you guys. She belongs to the Jakura family line descending from the Siamese royal house. I believe she ends up marrying someone from Kosovo or some shit. I don't know. I'm so tired of these people. Although maybe she didn't know and she found out and then she turned on them. I don't know, guys. No idea. But we're going to look through some of her emails. And then we also have the wife of the CEO of Anthropic in the emails. And we have this guy named Tigrane, who was a modeling scout for Trump at one point before he swapped sides. Some of this you've already seen from the David Syed episodes. Again, today's going to be slightly shorter just because my stomach is not feeling too hot. And I just found out I have bats in my attic, which is why I started late. So my apologies. But we have the to and from redacted. And this is in 2012. But it says appointment for Mom Luang and then her name. Probably Jeffrey's assistant to Jeffrey. This one was really weird. It's to redacted, but it's from Jeffrey. And it's forwarded to Mom Luang. Sorry, I keep calling her Mom Luang, the Honorable. Maybe I can call her Raja. Hopefully that's not offensive. It's a weird email. The subject says, Total Security Solution in Thailand. Security Services, top class training. I don't know why. But the email says, go spend time with her if you like. She is airy fairy. Don't know what that means. But serves lunch for 1 million kids at a time, all in the same place. Go to YouTube to watch 1 million kids in a field. Oh, YouTube. I assume she meant kids in a field Thai. I mean, just like why would she be saying that to Jeffrey? Why? There's no context, by the way. There's no context. I've dug through the files. There's no context, which also is a heavy indicator that a lot of files, haven't been released, which you guys already kind of know. But I can just confirm it. And then there's a link here. Let's see. And the link is not available. Moving on. This is from her, Raja, to redacted. Probably Jeffrey's assistant. But Jeffrey's assistant probably says, hello, Miss Luang Raja. Might you be able to come see Jeffrey Epstein today at 2:45 at his home? And then it lists the address. That's the New York address, I believe. Please let me know. Thank you. Redacted. Assistant to Jeffrey Epstein. Redacted. And Jeffrey says, Mom, Miss Luang, Miss Raja says, how about 2 p.m.? So they definitely met. This is part of the email chain with David, I believe. I think it's up. It's down to up as per usual. From redacted to redacted. We can assume that the 2 is Raja. But it says, hi, Mom. Thank you for ensuring I visited the temple today. It was a great experience seeing all the children gathered. I am very impressed by your efforts. I appreciate this is a busy time for you. So if I don't manage to see you again before I leave, let's definitely talk by phone. Wishing you a lovely evening. Shelly. So actually, maybe they did visit twice. Because I know David visited. Thank you for ensuring I visited the temple today. This is Jeffrey's assistant. Well, probably. Weird. That means that there was more than one time. Dear Shelley, we will meet before you go so we can plan how to promote the book. I will find someone to translate it to Thai, and we can start from there. Do we need an authorization from the author? Can you CC Sally, please, as I do not have her email address. Thank you, Shelly. I look forward to do something with you and Sally, something worthwhile for the children. Love, Mom. Her Excellency, Mom Luang Raja, the Honorary Consul. She also served as ambassador, I believe, to Kosovo, the Republic of Kosovo in the Kingdom of Thailand. Honorary Chairwoman, Asian Affairs, the voice of Southeast Asia Web Link. She had quite the titles. But why is she inviting this guy? I have no idea, guys. This is Daniel Syed from Jeffrey to Daniel. If your princess would like to come, she needs to schedule. I love how most of us, when we think of royalty, we do the bow, right? Probably should bow to royalty. Not Jeffrey. He says, if your princess would like to come, she needs to schedule. Zero cares. Daniel wrote, sorry, I keep calling him David. His name is Daniel. Daniel Syed. We did David Blaine right after Daniel, and it's got my brain all cooked. He wrote positive energies. Maybe that's like his sign off. I don't know. This is probably from her. Yeah, it's from her, Raja. She says, Dear Daniel and Jeffrey, I would love to meet your friend, Jeffrey. Thank you for your email, Daniel. I will be here until the 28th. Dear Jeffrey, when is the best time for you? Wow. Can't believe... And Jeffrey just responds in such a nonchalant way. If your princess would like to come, she needs to schedule. Jesus. I mean, this should just go to show how much power Jeffrey had. Really. In the end, that's really what it means. In fact, meeting a princess is just like whatever to him. Which, to be fair, he was banging the princess of... What is it? Sweden? Can't remember. I think it was Sweden. So, yeah, he just doesn't care. This was from Raja to Jeffrey. Dear Jeffrey, can I have the address of your place? Where are we meeting? Kind regards, Mom. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. God, I love how nonchalant he is. It's crazy. This is from Redacted. It's probably her to him. But it's to Jeffrey. Forwarded gifts. Have you seen the manual of, I'm going to assume it's peace. And Raja said, you are a wonder girl and sensitive too. Maybe this is Shelly. There's a redacted person who responded with, thank you for my lovely bracelets and the book. The book is amazing. I almost feel like it should be called The Manual for Living, since it is so insightful, but I look forward to reading it properly at length over the holidays. And then he sends this video. Let's see. I get so nervous about clicking these links. Oh, it's a working video. Oh, it's not available anymore. Let's take a peek while we're here. 1 million children. This is weird putting this shit in. Meditation. So this is it here. This is the 1 million in Thailand. This is probably it. Ugh. All right, hopefully it's not creepy. Probably can't play the music. If you're just watching, well, it is a lot of children in like an open... I mean, it's just like flat concrete. A giant parking lot, I suppose. The V-Star Day on December 11th, 2010. So this is 2 years before those emails to Jeffrey. And there looks like the children are singing, maybe. Hey, they're singing. Guys, I'm getting fucking goosebumps. I hate this shit. yeah, bro, this is surely an event Jeffrey Epstein needed to get invited to. Like, okay, I don't know why. In my brain, I still kind of like, I guess, resist. In my brain, I still kind of think like, okay, you know, what's the justification, right? The quote modeling agency, right? But these kids are all like fucking less than 10. There's no models here. So like, why are they just inviting Jeffrey to this? And there's like some grown dude here crying. Maybe he's royalty. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this Thai tradition. But why is this royalty of Thailand inviting Jeffrey to this event where it's just a bunch of little children standing out in the field singing? I mean, come on the fuck on. I've heard nobody talk about this princess of Thailand. I've heard nobody mention her at all. Let's go see. Comments are turned off. This was 15 years ago. I wonder if they just don't televise this stuff anymore. I don't know. That was the only... Here's one from 13 years ago. I don't know if this is... Yeah, this is also... Same event. So this one would be around the time for Jeffrey, I think. It's maybe been the one Jeffrey was going to.
Schools in the country to take part in this program. Schools that are interested tell the children who are then invited themselves. So if we're going to change the world...
all right, let's watch the video. It's only 2 minutes long. The same song.
People ask, how can sitting still change the world? And I say you must start with the very small things, like changing yourself. So if we're going to change the world, we need to have children change themselves first. We invited different schools in the country to take part in this program. Schools that are interested tell the children who are then invited to make the trip to the temple. Children in this program are given 10 tasks to complete each day for 3 months. These include making their bed, saving part of their pocket money, and helping their parents with chores around the house after school. The children then come here to the Pra-Dhammakaya temple after the 3 months of assignments are completed.
Alright, dude, alright. We are the leaders of a moral revival project. I mean, look, in spirit and what it's meant to be probably is great, but there's something so twisted that at the same time, Thailand royalty is inviting one of the most notorious child traffickers to go and like peek over this. Like what?
I like to meditate. I sit and meditate every day for 15 minutes and feel better after that. I didn't like it at the beginning, but I like it now. It makes me feel good, and I think it makes me do better at school, too.
Some Buddhists find the temple's activities controversial. I wonder why. Let's find out.
The Pra-Dhammakaya temple is more cult-like than other temples because they have such strong beliefs and complete conviction in what they're doing. They simply don't care what the rest of society thinks about them. Personally, I see the gathering of so many children as a religious show more than anything else.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
We believe that changing the world starts with changing ourselves. So when 1 million kids are doing their best to be a better person, it really can change the world.
Anyways, I mean, that didn't really give any insight, but I was curious about what the event was supposed to be for. They do it every year. Here it is 9 years ago. And again, just for some reason, they felt the need to invite Jeffrey to this. So weird. All right, where were we, boys? This is from Raja to Jeffrey. The subject is, I would like to introduce you to a very wonderful lady, Sharon Bush. Should we look up who Sharon Bush is? Pray she's not related to the Bushes. Sharon Bush. Sharon Bush is a philanthropist who is the founder and CEO of Teddy Share. She is the former wife of businessman Neil something. I mean, maybe I add her to the list, huh? To Neil Bush. Duh. I'm not familiar with either of them, but maybe I should add her to the list. You know what? Fuck it, I will. I will add her to the list. Why not? Sharon Bush. All right. And the email says, this is again from Raja to Jeffrey. I will leave for Miami in 2 days, the 28th of September, and we'll see Daniel Syed in Paris on October 7th to the 9th of October. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for having us, Jeffrey, in your beautiful home. Okay, so again, she did meet him. Best wishes, Mom. This is, all right. That's kind of all I have for their interactions. Again, something happens, it goes sour. She like tells all of them to leave her alone. I don't know if she found out what was going on. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe there's some like business stuff that was happening. It was weird. But if you're more curious about those additional files, then go and watch the Daniel Syed video. And honestly, learning about it was so weird. So this is, again, this has to do more with this Tigrane guy. This is from Daniel, who I also learned from going through the Daniel Syed files. Daniel Syed to Jeffrey, can you call me? I am with Tigrane. He would like to meet you. He is here with me in Ibiza with 8 top girls. He said he would like to build something with you. Can you come to Ibiza? We have a huge house, or we can organize this meeting. Even Jean-Luc could do a great biz also. He has the most amazing top models on standby. I told him not to do any deals with anybody before he meet with you. He stopped working with IMG and Trump. Would here please call me and let me know what is your plans. Redacted. Warmest regards, Daniel. And of course, Jeffrey replied, what is your schedule? So again, definitely not a sex trafficking network, guys. This is from Jeffrey to Daniel. Tigrane has the best taste next to you. I don't know what that means. I'm happy to meet him. He had a girl named Redacted in Paris that he told many bad things about me. Oh. Again, Daniel, he says, hello, Jeffrey. A great friend of mine rented a huge house in Ibiza. So this is Tigrane. Yeah, he's talking about Tigrane. And yet, it seems like, okay, yeah. So invited a lot of girls from Russia, all models, because they will be doing the shootings down there for several magazines with a great scout named Tigrane. He used to scout for Trump, but he doesn't work for him anymore. He coming with 12 girls the first week, 20th of July, then 13 others. Second week from the 5th of August. He would like to meet you. I just called Jean-Luc to see with him if he can come too. That would be great to build this great network for MC2, which MC2 is the quote modeling agency that Jeffrey ran, although apparently there are no official records of MC2. Definitely not a sex trafficking network. Please let me know if you can come to spend some time with us. My best regards. Yeah. Russia was also a pretty big hotbed. I'm just amazed at how many models they were able to funnel through Jeffrey. What an insane operation this must have been, truly. This is from Jeffrey to Redacted. It looks like... Okay, so this looks like it's the same chain, but for some reason, something Jeffrey said is redacted. But he follows up with, here's the name of one of the girls, Tanya Diagilvela. Google her. I have 6 girls with Tigrane that can fly to Paris. If you can't come, let me know. And one of them is Tanya. And so I looked up Tanya, and she actually went on to be somewhat of a famous model. She is still here. She's a fashion host, I guess, on YouTube. Or she does some social media work. She was, I think, 19 at the time. But yeah, she's here. She's still around. A lot of these models probably know exactly what was going on, and they just don't want to talk about it, which is, I guess, fair. This is okay. So now we're moving on to the Anthropic, the Anthropic thing that came up. Anthropic being, of course, one of the biggest providers of AI at the moment with Claude. Ironically, it's known as being, quote, the most moral. People are having a lot of trouble using it because it keeps telling them they're having like a weird moral battle with it. It's trending right now. But the wife of Dario Amodei, who's the CEO, her name is Cami Clark, and apparently she was also in contact with Jeffrey quite a bit. And so I pulled up some of her files. I didn't have time to go through all of them, but I do have one here where she definitely met with him. This is in 2011 from Cami. The 2 isn't listed, but it definitely went to Jeffrey. He CC'd on it, and so is someone named Michelle Capogefalo. I believe that's like a friend of hers. She says, "Hello, Jeffrey. We would love to have dinner with you this evening. Does that work for you? We aren't at the Hills this afternoon. My cell is redacted." John Brockman wrote, "Going to Wired Party where I'm guest of honor. You should connect for dinner with my girls, Cami and Michelle, who I met last month in Munich. They're in LA raising money for porn movie aimed at women's market. Here's their site." I'm not clicking the site. "They're watching Ted at Danny Hillis' house, but they have a car. The phone at Danny's house is redacted. Also, Calacanis is having a birthday dinner for me Saturday night. Cami and Michelle will be there." From Jeffrey, I believe. "Tonight? Question mark." And yeah, so very interesting. But apparently, I've got even more information. I didn't have time to go through all her files, guys. Like I said, I'm not feeling well. So I'm just gonna, I shortcut it a little bit. Please don't get upset at me. But apparently, it's quite hard to find this Cami Clark. And when you do, you only get a picture of her sister, which, interesting enough, anytime I try and Google anyone from the Epstein files, I just can't find pictures of them. It's quite difficult. I don't know why. Anyways, this person says, "You get a picture of her sister instead. Not even Claude can say if he's married, but she has been an influential force in his career, introducing him to Eric Schmidt." And I believe this is the same Eric Schmidt who is also in the files, who Epstein was friends with. I don't even want to say friends. Eric Schmidt, I believe this is the same Eric Schmidt that was the defense prime minister of Israel. I want to say it's the same fucking guy. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. It's crazy how many high officials of Israel end up being major business owners here in America, or put in charge of major businesses here in America, or become huge financiers of businesses here in America. Could be wrong. Maybe not the same guy. I don't know. But big surprise that this woman introduces him to Eric Schmidt, one of the Anthropic's first investors with whom she had previously been in a 3-year relationship, and serving as a key sounding board and networker. To get to this point, she overcame much, dropping out of college, a brief early marriage when she was 20 to a man more than 40 years her senior, a bankruptcy, and an entrepreneurial path that included trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to invest in her revolutionary porn company, which we just saw. Yeah, I doubt anything will come of it. It's so interesting to me, these people don't actually pull up the file. Free luxury porn company, who was very close to Epstein. Why do people just omit that Eric Schmidt was the defense prime minister? What is up with that? So this is, I guess, part of the email chain. Yeah. I think I just read this. I don't know. I'm going to read it again. Cami Clark to Jeffrey. Cami Clark, John Brockman introduced us last year at TED. We have the free luxury porn company. Does that ring a bell? TED 1 year later from Jeffrey. I'm sorry, who is this? Hello, Jeffrey. Hope all is well. You popped to mind the other day when I was meeting with Jennifer Zuccarini, who started Kiki de Monteparnasse and just left Victoria's Secret. She's raising a round of funding for a new lingerie and ready-to-wear line that she is launching e-commerce aside from model for aesthetic. If you are interested, Jesus, sorry, the English is not my fault here. I'm reading it the way it's written. Execution, I being would spot be happy on. Good luck trying to make sense of that, guys. I was to introduce intrigued you by her, Michelle, and I just moved back to New York. I recall you saying that you spent part of your time here. Would love to catch up with you over lunch. Yeah. Hilarious. So, I mean, this isn't an uncommon story. It's surprisingly common. These people all know each other. They all know each other. But it is hilarious to me that this guy, Dario, he's this like, no, you're not going to use my AI for war. You know, my AI is going to be ethical. It's going to be good. And he's married to this fucking chick who hung around Epstein and begged him for money and tried to run a porn company. His biggest investors are, I assume it's the same Eric Schmidt, man. Ex defense prime minister or ex minister of defense. Also, of course, he was a registered sex offender at the time. Both of these times. And so I've got the Princess of Thailand inviting a sex offender to go to a 1 million child meditation event. And I've got the wife of one of the most, quote, ethical AI developers also hanging around Jeffrey. Big surprise, I guess. Big surprise to no one. So yeah, from what I looked over, that is pretty much the extent of the emails with Cammy between her and Epstein. They get CC'd on some stuff. Housewarming party. It looked like he may have looked her up on Facebook. Cammy Clark plus Michelle. Jeffrey had to have gotten CC'd on this in some way, but it says, "Oh, lovely friends, yes, we are living in New York, and we're finally having a housewarming party. Please feel free to bring a friend or two." Between Rivington plus Delancey. Yes, the big blue glass building. I have one more little video. This is from this is in 2017, former CIA officer Robert Steele claimed that Jeffrey Epstein likely had every major U.S. politician on video doing something terrible to a child. Yeah. So people keep saying Steele dossier. I don't actually know what that is. I'm going to look it up after you see this video.
Jeffrey Epstein has every major U.S. politician on video doing something terrible, probably to a child or to multiple people. The bottom line here is the United States government has become so corrupt that the time has come, I think, to clean the crap out of the stables and start over.
Yeah, you know what? He's right. He's 100% correct. And a long time ago, I had heard a rumor about this. Just a rumor. Long time ago. When I say a long time, I mean 10 years ago, before I knew Epstein stuff, any of this. I had heard a rumor that this was likely going on. That every politician was probably in some way compromised. And I thought it was interesting. I'm very open-minded. I was like, okay, it's a possibility. Why not? Fuck it. CIA, Mossad. And then many years later, and by many, I mean, again, almost 10, I hear a rumor about Bernie Sanders. This is during his Bernie Bros era. Sorry. In which they say Bernie refused to bend the knee and do something terrible. And the rumor was that they forced him to watch as something terrible was done. in order to get him to bow to the masters. And again, I thought that was weird, but it was in line with a lot of other rumors that I had heard. And I just kind of like pocket these things in some weird compartment in my brain, and I just leave it there. Just let it sit. I don't think too much of it. So then comes the Epstein files, and they get released. And here I've dug through these fucking things. I mean, just last Wednesday, I went through 1,500. Today I've gone through about 500, give or take. I don't know how many I've gone through in total. It's got to be a couple thousand at least, but probably many more. And there's just so much evidence in these files that it's true. And I'm going to read some of the ones that were convincing me today. This is one that involves Nancy Mace and Ron DeSantis. This is a FBI intake report. And this is from a victim. And I don't know if I should read all of it, but yeah, so I won't read all of it. This is from someone named Christina to USANYS involving the Maxwell victims, Epstein Maxwell victims. Maybe I will read some of this. I am a target of Donald Trump. In 2014, a CIA agent tricked me into going into Epstein's in Palm Beach. He said I was going to a holiday party. I got there with him, was handed a drink. I was drugged. Once again, he took me to a room and said, "Wait here, I'll be right back." And immediately the doors shut and locked by Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeff Epstein. Every time I tried to get out, they would back me into the room, and it was Ghislaine Maxwell who was really doing this. I was locked in a room to be a sex slave. At one point, the butler unlocked the door, and standing there was Donald Trump. I wasn't his cup of tea. He said to a man, "Make sure she drinks some of that so she forgets I was here." Then said to the butler, "Only open the door that you think I will like." In 1998, Robert A. Murray was working with the FBI and told me I was a victim. I didn't understand, and he told me I don't remember. He was working with the same short FBI agent that took me from my bed several times and drugged me. In 1998, I was asked if I saw James Bolger kidnap a child. I was about 14, and I said, yes, I did. I don't know who James Bolger is. Well, days later, I was set up and put on a government list by a woman in Massachusetts General Hospital that was a psychiatrist. He mentioned the name Rico, R-I-C-O-H, who said she was going to call because she had a connection. After I told her, "You can't put me on a list without a court hearing." This woman was working with my younger sister. I was called by the woman who pretended to be my mother and told me I had a meeting to discuss my sister's treatment plan. I walked into a witch hunt of false allegations. These allegations were made by two women who are Winter Hill gang members. I guess this is kind of all over the place. At the end of the meeting, the psychiatrist said, "You shouldn't be talking about the kidnapping you witnessed to endanger your family." Oh, shit. Then two men came in and injected me with drugs, and they put a wire in my wrist. What the fuck? I couldn't remember they did this to me until recently. They've been listening to my entire life. All right, I'm gonna skip down. In 2008, my boss said to me, "The FBI is on the phone. Did you see James Bolger kidnap a child?" I said I did. That night, I was raped by Ron DeSantis. I woke up naked on my floor, tied up, and beaten, while James Bolger stood there with a gun. Then Ron DeSantis came in and raped me. He said, "By the time I remember him raping me, I'll be locked up as a psychopath." Then a woman came in and faked sex with me, and that woman is Nancy Mace. James Bolger said he was going to put it on YouPorn. I couldn't remember this. This was my punishment for telling. Here's the thing. I don't have definitive proof for any of these things, right? But you know what's weird? Ron DeSantis if you don't know who that is, that's the Florida governor who is set to be released from his office this year because we have a term limit. What's interesting about Ron DeSantis' rise is that he went pretty uncontested when his Democrat opponent got caught in a hotel having sex with gay prostitutes, male prostitutes, while doing lots of copious drugs. Again, it's weird. It's all just weird. But to me, sounds like that guy was entrapped. Not that he should have gonna do it. I don't know if any of this is true. I don't know. It's just interesting that so many different people from so many different areas of society are all saying the same thing. I don't know. This woman is Nancy Mace. Funny, because what really kind of tied Nancy Mace to it for me was when Thomas Massie was forced out of office by boomers, mostly. A lot of weird shit happening during Thomas Massie's re-election. A lot of surprise ballots. And none of his America First allies really said anything until after he was pushed out of office. And Nancy Mace almost immediately said that she stood with Israel. It was like the first thing she said after Thomas Massie was kicked out of office, nearly the same day, only a few hours after, if hours. It was like they were scared. It was like they were all scared. And they really wanted to keep their jobs. I don't know if this is real. I don't know. Again, I think the what reminded me of this was the debate with Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens. Because a lot of people are looking at Candace and they're saying, well, you don't have any proof. Kind of right. Don't get me wrong. There's no definitive proof. We have pictures, we have testimonies of random things that don't make any sense. We'll never have all the dots. I assure you, we'll never have all of the dots. I think she's way more hopeful than I am. I don't think they'll ever have all the dots. I don't think they'll have all the proof. And yet I still think she's right. When you look at all of the files that we've gone through over the history of this show, JFK files, MLK, Epstein files, MJ12. When you look through all of them, there's only one country that is consistently mentioned throughout all of them. It's fucking Israel. It's unfortunate this type of content keeps hurting my channel. Every time I post these videos, I watch my view counts just drop into oblivion. Shadow banned, or maybe because people don't like it. I don't know. But I just cannot help myself. I just can't help it. Maybe it'll get me eventually. I don't know, guys. Let's look up Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas. He has quite a few files himself. Here's another one. Here's another one. It's not just our Congress members who are compromised. It's also the Supreme Court. And it's funny, listen to this. It's the exact same fucking guy, by the way, guys. I didn't even connect these dots. So, there's this kid, Riley. I forget his name. Riley, who accused Trump. That's what he was like famous for recently, was accusing Trump of hurting him. And I didn't know this, but there was yet another name he accused. And it was Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Now, I didn't go and watch the Sasha Riley videos because they're too graphic and they're so out there for me that I didn't find value in it. However, I went through these Clarence Thomas files and I posted them, and someone said, "Oh, this gives Sasha Riley even more credit because he had mentioned Thomas Clarence, or sorry, Clarence Thomas." And I couldn't believe it. So this is, I guess, somewhat from the same file that we just read. But listen to this. In 1998, Robert A. Murray, my boss at Bank of Boston, said there was psychopaths in the CIA and FBI playing a game. He said Donald Trump was involved and was in this pedo ring. He mentioned Justice Clarence Thomas, who I didn't know. He also told me I was sold to the CIA by the man who pretended to be my father, the man that raped me repeatedly and sex trafficked me. I didn't believe, but I do now. These agents here in Florida that took me from my bed, I believe, are psychopaths. I remember the short agent asking me if I had a bad luck nightshirt. I didn't understand what he was talking about, nor could I remember because I was drugged and sitting there in the nightshirt half naked. Now I understand, and this is truly going to be hard for anyone to believe, but every time they take me from my bed, I'm wearing a particular nightshirt. This poor person. If this is real, Jesus, this poor person. In 2014, I was abducted by Kevin Weeks and another man. A woman I knew set me up and said she knew these men. I couldn't remember Kevin Weeks because I was drugged on a substance that erases your memory. I was raped and tortured. I was drugged and smashed in the head with a hammer. As the men smashed me in the head, the man who tortured me said, "Be careful, she's our computer." What the fuck? The man was electrocuting me as he was saying, "You're not going to talk about the kidnapping you witnessed, right, Christine?" Then he would electrocute me. John Mortorano was the man who raped me and took pictures of me naked and said, "Let's take a picture for Clarence Thomas." Justice Clarence Thomas raped me at a church in Massachusetts when I was about 4 or 5 years old. This is also in a CIA file because a few people have asked me if I remembered, but I couldn't remember much of my childhood because I was drugged so much. Jesus. Lord. Lord, help these people. Let's look up who John Mortorano was. Or is. Never heard the name before. John Vincent Mortorano, also known as Vincent Joseph Rancourt, Nick the Cook, the Executioner, the Basin Street Butcher, is an American former mobster and hitman for the Winter Hill Gang. Oh, okay, so she was actually talking about that earlier. I believe she was saying he's for the CIA, FBI. I don't know if there's any relation, but on January 15th, 2008, Mortorano was interviewed by Steve Croft on the CBS 60 Minutes. But Bradley died before it could occur. Huh. So I don't see anything here linking him to intelligence agencies, but it's not uncommon for them to work together. Where was I? Clarence Thomas. Yeah. After I was tortured, I remember sitting on a sidewalk and I couldn't remember what I just endured. The woman I was with called the cops. The cops came, and instead of taking me to the hospital, I was sent to the FBI office because they said I was a psychopath. I had blood dripping from my head. She gets Baker acted. This is interesting. Maybe it gives her some credence. I was a victim of being raped several times and set up by the Winter Hill gang members, which is who we were talking about. Several years ago, man, this woman just has a lot of names. Several years ago, FBI agent Andrew McCabe put a FISA warrant on me unjustly. I witnessed him pay a woman to have sex with her underage daughter. I don't know how I got to this place, but I remember a man telling me to get up and stop him. I got up and I looked at the mother and Andrew, but I wasn't brave enough and I couldn't remember all these years. This was just another time I was taken from my bed at gunpoint. Jesus. I mean, this is also in line with MK Ultra. These agents are guilty of participating in the beating death of missing children in Massachusetts. This woman name drops a lot of people. Here's another interesting thing. Another person that is alive and in the CIA is huge redaction. I remember the same FBI agent telling me that they had to put her in the CIA because they would kill her. All this did was silence redaction, and the people that wanted her dead should be held accountable, but instead the victims are silenced. So anyways, guys, this is just one little file, and who knows, this could all be made up. It would just be extremely interesting that all of these people from across different agencies, all of these victims, were somehow all lying, but all lying, saying the same lie. Trying to think if I'm missing anybody else who was in these files. But I don't think so. I think I got everybody. And again, oh, sorry, I was talking about the debate, right? So, to me, I've already made up my mind. I've already made up my mind on the Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk thing. I've already made up my mind. There's just certain things that, if it smells like bullshit, to me, it's just bullshit. Coincidences, I think there's enough of them at this point to speak for themselves. And the conspiracy theorist community agrees with me. It's kind of what we started on. And they're all in on this too. They're very much just in the, it's probably this. Probably the same source everything seems to go back to. The same country that gets mentioned over and over and over again. The same 3-letter agencies that get mentioned over and over and over again. And to be honest with you, Candace Owens is being light about it. There are people who are way more convinced than she is. And to me, let's say Andrew Wilson and TPUSA and all the right-wing Republicans who have turned on her, all of the people who say she's wrong, her claims should be, to them, so outlandish that it shouldn't matter, right? Like, I'm not into the flat earth theory stuff. So I don't sit around watching flat earth theory stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't spend all day long looking at flat earth videos. I don't feel the need to talk to flat earthers. I'm not flaming you flat earthers, by the way, okay? I'm very open-minded. I think anything could be possible at this point. But my point is that I have no interest in debating a flat earther. I have no interest in studying flat earth theory because I don't believe in it. I feel no need to try and disprove it because it's a small sect of the world. Actually, it's many more people believe in flat earth than I ever realized, but that are out there in the mainstream, in the zeitgeist. It's such a small amount. I don't feel the need to bash them because they're pretty much nobodies in the first place. And I don't mean that derogatory. I just mean you have no influence. And it's the same with Candace Owens. I like her. I think she's great. I love anyone with a unique perspective. I like anyone presenting new information. And I don't understand why all of these influencers, all of these people feel the need to try and bash her, to pay $300,000 to drag her out of her mansion or her house in order to debate her. Why? If her theories are so fringe out in the ether that nobody's really paying attention to it, there's no real credence to it, then why do you feel the need to debate her? Why are you so intent on doing it that you're willing to pay $300,000? Why? I think most of you probably know where I'm going with this. And I've said this a little bit now on Instagram. Those videos are doing really well. Thank you guys for supporting it. But I'm seeing a lot of random people try and say that Candace looks silly there, but I think she did extremely well. Extremely well. And in the end, I just don't understand why they felt the need to. And so, here's where I'm going. I think it's intentional. And that they were trying to run a hit piece on her. They were trying to put a hit out on her in terms of making her look bad. I think Andrew Wilson was the only one who would take the job. I think he looked like complete and utter shit trying to do it. I think Candace now has more credence than she had before. And I think if we trace the money up the line, we'd know where it went. And Candace even said during the debate that she knew damn well that somebody had sent Andrew there. She's a smart woman. She's not an idiot. She's smart. She knows damn well. I saw Nick Fuentes talk about it. And he was flaming Candace, weirdly. Although, you know, it's so funny. Again, I try and avoid conspiracy theories. I don't even consider this to be a conspiracy theory anymore. But Nick Fedstein, or whatever they call him, Fedstez, I don't know. The Fed. Why? Why pick on her? Doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. If she wasn't correct, then people wouldn't follow her. It's really quite simple. If she wasn't doing something that was correct, there would be zero interest. She is already on an uphill battle. She's always been on an uphill battle. And I'm sure there's a lot of conspiracy theories around her too. I'm sure. I've heard and seen some of them. But yeah. Kind of nearing the end here of my rant. If you guys have made it this far, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to me rant. I do kind of have big-ish news. This is kind of breaking as of just a few hours ago, just 2. But it's possible Israel just attacked Turkey. It's possible Israel just bombed Turkey. I'm kind of looking into it right now. But after I follow this up, I'm probably going to end. So, Israel's Syria strike risk scrambling Turkish jets, military escalation. Huh. Not sure. U.S. Ambassador to Turkey, Tom Barak. Ooh, I mean, let's go. Should I look him up in the files? I've heard that name 1,000 times. We should just judge people by how many files they have on them in the Epstein files. He has over 546. So we should just pull up the first one, guys. What do you think? Yeah, of course we will. You guys are really the answer. Come on. Can't help myself. Can't help myself. I've seen his name quite a few times in these files. Let's just read the very first one. And maybe I'll add him to the list. It's a lot of redactions here. But Tom Barak, private. Meet your Saudi friend. He loves you. How are you, Tom Barak? This is... okay. Great. Download Signal app if you have not already. When are you in New York? Tonight? Dinner with Woody? I mean, okay. Woody Allen, of course, being Pedo. Tom says, I'm in Turkey. There Monday. I will call you. We'll download now. And he sends him the contact card. I've seen Tom's name in here quite a few times. Maybe I just go and add him to the list and do a whole episode on him. 500 files is not the worst. This is 2 redacted from Richard Barnett. Okay, we'll be ready. RB. No idea what that means. Reminder, Tom Barak and friend to come to house today at 2 p.m. That's from Jeffrey. So it's probably to like an assistant or some shit. I don't know. So I guess not. Maybe. I'm not sure. But for some reason, my Senator Rick Scott said it's clear Israel gave Turkey advance warning and Ankara, which is the capital, ignored it. Israel has a right and duty to defend itself from threats. Turkey needs to stop playing around, stop shilling for terrorists, and start acting like the NATO ally they pretend to be. Well, Israel's not in NATO. So, what does that have to do? My favorite thing, by the way, has been just putting plus 7K on these posts. Plus 7K. This is what I do with my senators. I just do plus 7K. If you don't know why. Apparently, Israel was offering like $7,000 to anyone who did a pro-Israel post. So I just do plus 7K. It doesn't actually do anything, but it makes me laugh. Let me look up what just happened here with Turkey before I close out. I would hate to miss some big news and have to go live again immediately. This is from the Prime Minister of Israel's office. Israel and Syria agreed to a status quo in security matters, which Syria was on the verge of breaching by permitting Turkish troops to deploy at an airbase near Aleppo. Israel repeatedly warned Syria that such a deployment would pose a threat to Israel's security. Syria chose to ignore these warnings. Israel will not tolerate threats to its security and would welcome a return to the status quo. I don't know what's going on, guys. This seems kind of bigger than what I'm understanding. Maybe... So some Turkish troops were deployed at an airport, and Israel got pissed and tried to bomb them? Like, I don't know what's going on. Turkey is deploying massive quantities of weapon systems into Syria under the cover of darkness. The shipments are being carried out under the direction of the Turkish intelligence agency. However, it can be assumed that Turkey plans to respond to Tuesday's attack by the Israeli Air Force. What is going on? Ankara anticipates a military confrontation with the Israeli army inside Syria. Turkey is determined to send a clear message. I mean, I don't know about that, but... You know, I did see quite a bit ago somebody commenting that the reason the U.S. was planning to leave NATO is because Israel was eventually going to get in a fight with Turkey. But I don't know. It's not looking good, that's for sure. Israel informed Washington that its attack in Syria on Turkish assets. So they did bomb Turkey. Or, well, they didn't bomb Turkey, the country, but they burned some Turkish equipment. Wow, that's kind of big news. Israel informed Washington that its attack in Syria on Turkish assets was aimed to prevent a Turkish military buildup. No shit. Well, we'll see what happens. To be honest with you, I think Turkey's a bit of a bitch. No offense. Well, Turkey A. But who knows? Also, yeah, didn't this come just at the same time as Turkey signed that little defense arrangement with Saudi Arabia and Pakistan? Yeah, that happened. So, today's the 19th. Apparently, this bombing was on the 18th. And 2 days before that, Turkey signed a defense agreement with Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. It was a joint defense agreement. Holy shit. That's crazy. Israel blows up negotiation envoys from Turkey that are meeting with Syrian officials in an attempt to prevent Syria from entering the nuclear umbrella defense alliance of Pakistan, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia. Huh. No shit, guys. Well, that'll probably be big news tomorrow. Israel just struck a Syrian airbase specifically to stop Turkey from moving in. Wow. No kidding. Huh. Well, I'm not gonna have that much news other than what we've got. Here's a article. I'll read this real quick. Just kidding. I can't read it because it's paywalled. Get baited. It's probably nothing more than what we just read. This looks like 8 strikes hit the runway and storage facilities at Abu al-Duhar, about 70 kilometers from the Turkish border. Kilometers. I don't know which. Tom Barak condemned the Israeli strike. And Laura Loomer, who's a big shill, is flaming him. Oh, moron. Bombing of military site as the unnecessary escalation underlines regional tensions over Damascus. The attack is likely to sharpen tensions between Turkey and Israel over Syria, where Ankara has emerged as the principal foreign backer of the government that replaced Bashar al-Assad. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a UK-based war monitor, and said Turkey had been rehabilitating Abu al-Duhar, and a Turkish delegation had recently visited the base. The base had ceased operating as a dedicated military airfield during the Syrian civil war, which left 500,000 people dead. Jesus. So I wonder if anyone died. It's rare that you just bomb a base and people don't die. Why wouldn't, it sounds like they're playing it off as Turkey shouldn't have done anything, but why would Turkey just let their shit get blown up? That doesn't seem to make any sense. All right, it's big news. It is big news. We'll see what comes of it. Like I said, I don't think anything will. But, I've been wrong before. And we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow would be a bit of a news day, I'm sure. I'm feeling it already. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Some economics. Some war developments, apparently. But, hey, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys. Be getting a massive amount of interest because of the Candace Owens video. We are well on our way to 1,000, which apparently is the hardest to reach. And then it apparently gets easier, which I hope that's true. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's a lot of work. It is so much work. It's more work than you'd think reading, hundreds of these files. It's not fun. Anyway, talking to you guys is fun. And I talk to my viewers all the time. I was just talking with one of them just before I started the show. He's been a long time viewer for like over a year. And it's fun talking to you guys. I love talking one-on-one with you guys in Discord and a lot of you on Instagram. We talk in the comments all the time and get PMs. One of some of the old people from early on, they're just asking me how I was doing. I love talking to you guys. It's fun. It feels more personal, of course, when it's one-on-one. I love that shit. So if you ever want to chat, just follow the link tree. There's a link to the Discord. Again, I respond to most comments. I see them all. So, again, thank you guys. Again, I'm going to keep the Epstein stuff till once a week just because I already know my channel is going to take a hit. Anytime I post these, I immediately watch viewer count drop. It's so fucking stupid. Maybe people aren't interested, and that's why I take the hit. That's okay. I'm totally okay with that. I think I'm still going to post them anyway. I think it's important that we have a sort of digital archive of this stuff. There's a lot of other people doing Epstein stuff, and just God bless everyone for not forgetting and not letting them really get away with it. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope your week's going well so far. We're almost kind of towards the end here. Happy afternoon. Hope you're having a wonderful afternoon, morning, evening, night. And I will see you tomorrow.